Welcome. Might need to switch mics. Welcome to another episode of the Don Davis Real Estate Show. It's your host, Don Davis of DDLRG, brokered by Compass. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. Upon that rock, we built His church. Upon that rock, we have built our business, and our results are a reflection of our character. If you'd like to measure our results, please take a look online at HAR Platinum, Zillow, and several other sources that can show you how our results are. My name is Don Davis of Don Davis Luxury Realty Group, broadcasting live here at 100.7 KKHT 6161 Savoy. Back here on May 31st, 2020. Just want to basically let everybody know that, hey, we are out of the pandemic and into the protesting. And I say out of the pandemic, not necessarily out of the pandemic, but what you see more now is protesting and making a statement versus people talking about the pandemic. So what's most popular right now is the protesting. Even though the pandemic we're not out of, there's still people that need to be tested and things like that. You still definitely want to make sure that you're staying safe, social distancing, and doing everything you can to keep your friends and family safe during this time. I think it's very important that we all take part in what the protests stand for. If you notice, even Zillow posted that there's no home for racism on their website. There's no room for racism on their website. If you go to the Zillow website right now, Zillow is staying behind the protest, and several other major corporations and cities and mayors and houses of representatives and police chiefs and things like that are standing behind the protest that we mentioned that was initially a peaceful protest by Colin Kaepernick a few years back, where he decided to take a knee during the national anthem. But now that being ignored has escalated into a violent protest. And now you say, well, what's a happy median, Don? We had a Colin Kaepernick taking a knee in the national anthem, and now we have the riots going on and things like that. What's the happy median? Well, the happy median that I'm hearing about is called blackout. And blackout is going to be a period of time where anybody that is of the African-American race is not going to spend any money that day with any other business besides their race. And just to see the economic impact that it will have and let you know that all lives matter. All lives do matter, and especially if you're in a position where you're handcuffed, you're on the ground, and you're saying you cannot breathe, that should be taken seriously, especially from what we hear. He was a local Houstonian, went to Jack Yates High School. These classmates say they can't even think of a time in which he had a fight throughout high school, growing up in Third Ward, where it's easy to fight. It's kids from U of H that actually fight in Third Ward. So it's easy to get in a fight in Third Ward. And despite that, this guy was a peacekeeper. So keep in mind that anytime you say, well, all this violence is going on, initially it was not violent. Initially it was just saying, hey, we're going to take a knee at the NFL football games and go ahead and respect the fact that there's a problem here and we need to stop it. And that other countries are observing this and they see that it definitely is an issue. But I'm proud of Zillow, who is saying there's no homes for racism on their website. So there's no room for racism on the Zillow website. That says Zillow. That speaks a lot about Zillow. I applaud Zillow for backing up what's already in place through the government in the Fair Housing Act. The Fair Housing Act said it a long time ago that you cannot discriminate based on race, color, or religion when it comes to buying or selling a home or leasing a home. But I applaud Zillow for reiterating that during this time. So we're going to go ahead and go to our first break. Keep in mind, love where you live, love where you work. DDLRG, love's going to get you. I am Don Davis of DDLRG Luxury International Real Estate, and when it's time to make a business decision about your residence, please keep in mind, it's a Don deal.
Not only do we take care of our clients and our communities, we also are well kept here at DDLRG.
When it's time to make a business decision about your residence, it's a Don deal. All right, we're back. Don Davis, Luxury Realty Group, brokered by Compass. A lot of people didn't know I made a transition over the weekend, got an offer I couldn't refuse, and went to one of the best real estate brokerages in the country right now. If you'd like to see more information about this company, look them up online, compass.com, Compass Concierge, Compass Concierge, Compass Bridge Loan, Compass, you just name it. When it comes to the cream of the crop, definitely Compass.com is a company you want to research. So once again, Don Davis Luxury Realty Group, brokered by Compass, broadcasting live here on the Sunday morning after a lot of rioting and protests and things like that. Just want to remind everybody that we do practice fair housing with Compass, with DDLRG, and with Houston Association of Realtors and Texas Real Estate Commission, Texas Association of Realtors, National Association of Realtors, all focus on fair housing through the housing and urban development, and the fact that you cannot discriminate in housing. So not only can you not discriminate when you arrest somebody, as the gentleman was arrested, you cannot discriminate in housing either. And that means I cannot, the person says they can't breathe. I'm gonna give you an example of not breathing. I can't put more on you than you can bear. If you only qualify for $1,500 a month, the payment should not be the lender should not force in usury, or where the interest rate is so abusive that it's designed for you to suffocate, because they're going to suffocate you with interest. There's all types of abuse that goes on. Sometimes it's physical, but sometimes it's also financial abuse. And so if you look at some of the payday loan vendors, some of the title loan vendors, some of those types of businesses, those are designed to suffocate you as well. And we always want to put you in a position to where you can breathe, to where you can make an informed decision. The first thing that happens when you lose oxygen is you're not able to make an informed decision. And I like to also, for people that are diabetic, if your sugar drops low or anything like that, you cannot make an informed decision. Also, we also do not allow you to sign contracts while you're under the influence. If you're under the influence of alcohol, then that's not a good time to sign a contract. So anytime you're able to make a business decision about a residence, you do want to make sure that you're totally sober. You want to make sure that you actually have the ability to breathe and relax and really meditate and pray on the decision that you're about to make, because it can be one of the biggest decisions that you'll ever make. And that's the American dream of owning a home. The American dream of owning a home, home ownership, is not, everybody's not privileged to have it. And since everybody's not privileged to have it, you want to make sure you have a good advice when it's time to make a business decision like that, to make sure you don't put yourself in a situation where you will be under tremendous pressure. Sometimes we call it house poor. Some people call it house rich. Some people say the point is you cannot afford your bills, and all of a sudden it puts a pressure on the person to where it can lead to stress, heart attacks, and other forms of death. So you definitely want to make sure that you make a good, solid business decision. I mean, I'm all about having faith and believing for more, but sometimes we put the cart before the horse. So make sure you have a strategy, write the vision, and make it plain, so way when you go to run, you do not faint. And so keep in mind that the biblical terms that you see used every Sunday morning from the pulpit usually do translate over into business, and a lot of those business contracts do extract their information from Scripture. So that's why I tell everybody, Texas Real Estate Commission, 1 to 4 family residential contract. Get to know it like the back of your hand. If you're a real estate agent, get to know it like the back of your hand. Know what your option period is. Know what your what amendments can be used. Know your notices. Know your lead-based paint addendum. Know what's the information about brokerage services, buyer service representation agreement. Know if there's a form for it, you do not have to fill in the blanks. And because if anytime you fill in the blanks, you appear that you're practicing law. And as a real estate agent, we need to avoid practicing law at all times, but at the same time, protect the public from unscrupulous brokers, because real estate agents are the police of the real estate industry. We are the police of the real estate industry. So knowing that you're a police officer, there are good officers out there and there are bad officers out there. Which one will you decide to be? So if I'm one of the 43,000 real estate agents in Houston, Texas, I'm going to use my real estate licenses to protect and serve the public from unscrupulous agents who are not looking for their best interests. We're going to go ahead and go to our next break. Love where you live, love where you work. DDLRG, broker by Compass. I am Don Davis of DDLRG Luxury International Real Estate, and when it's time to make a business decision about your residence, please keep in mind, it's a Don deal.
I thought that Don Davis was honest and fair. He made us feel like family.
He was very communicative and very informative.
He just helped me to make it very easy, pointed me in the right directions, and gave me a lot of information about what to look out, for.
When it's time to make a business decision about your residence, it's a Don deal. We're back. Don Davis Luxury Realty Group, talking about the fact that real estate agents are real estate agents to police the real estate industry, to protect and serve, to protect our public from unscrupulous brokers, to make sure that the person that takes care of you, the real estate agent that takes care of you, looks out for your fiduciary obligations and looks out for you at all times. A fiduciary responsibility, your old car, obedience, loyalty, and disclosure and trust. We are all in it to protect and serve the public. That's real estate agent is a police of the real estate industry, and we're not here to be a bad officer. Like I said, there's good cops, there's bad cops. I mean, I grew up in an era with a music group called NWA, and NWA, was having a lot of issues with the police at the time. And so growing up, it took me years to overcome that fear or that hate for police, to where now I'm on the other side of it, and I realize that all police are not the same. As a matter of fact, I have a cousin that's a police officer. I also know a few police officers in my neighborhood, and actually they're a great down-to-earth people. So everybody behind a badge is not bad, but everybody behind a badge is not good. Everybody with a real estate license is not bad. Everybody with a real estate license is good. I suggest you interview that person just like you would interview anybody else, and at all times, show respect and honor for the person with the badge, because they're out there putting their lives on the line. But I think there's going to be a lot of changes after these protests, to where I feel like police officers can also be regulated by some of these laws, to where if they do decide to abuse, or they decide to take things too far, I believe you can enhance their crimes as well. That there's also different ways to make sure that the people that are riding along, I believe disc profiles and things like that will show you, hey, if I'm riding with a D and an I personality, I need to put an SSC person in the car, because I feel like the guy who watched the abuse take place was just as guilty. If he would have been more proactive, he could have saved a life. So keep in mind, real estate agents, police officers, security guards, you name it, do your job, but do it right. Do it as if the person that you are working for or with was your own. I try to tell everybody, I treat my clients that are a little bit older than me like they're my mom. I treat my clients that are a little bit younger than me like my daughters. And as long as you treat everybody as if they're your own, and always look out for their best interest, you don't go wrong as a real estate agent. So keep in mind, we are here to protect the public from unscrupulous brokers. So you say, well, Don, if y'all real estate agents, police officers have tasers, guns, things like that. What is the weapon that is used in a real estate transaction to protect people? And that's that 1 to 4 family residential contract I just mentioned. That contract can really hurt you or it can help you. And that's why you need to know exactly how to navigate that contract to do what's best for your client. And sometimes it's something as simple as an option period, whether we should go 7 days or 10 days, or whether we should extend the option period, or whether we should modify the option period, or maybe we should terminate the option period and go ahead and move forward. It depends on what side of the negotiation point you're on. It also evaluates by the absorption rate of the community, the appraisal, the USPAPS, the standard form that the appraisers have to use. If that value comes in low or that value comes in high, my negotiation strategy should be all totally different. And you say, well, that's a different part of the transaction. That's a different phase of the transaction, but the transaction has not closed. So my third party finance addendum says that if it comes up short, especially on a government loan, FHA, VA, we can renegotiate. Know all your tools of your contract. Your contract is a weapon. Like I said, it's like a bulletproof vest for a buyer. And at the same time, the listing agreement can be used as a bulletproof vest for the seller. So you want to make sure you're protecting your clients. And at the same time, if you protect them, they will refer you. I tell everybody those reviews online, that marketing, that repeat business is the best business you can get. You can get billboards. I can do this radio show. This radio show is nice. It's informative, but cannot live by radio alone. So keep in mind, what I do live by is taking care of my clients, and you take care of one client and the referrals keep coming. So that's what our strategy here at DDLRG. I mean, it's like a 5-star restaurant. We want to make sure we're the luxury real estate connoisseurs, but at the same time, we want to offer diversity in luxury. Diversity in luxury. I remember going to visit Beverly Hills luxury real estate office, and I noticed how diverse it was in Beverly Hills, California. And then I came back to Texas and that office wasn't as diverse. And I said, wow, those real estate agents in California are the same as we are. You know, they know the same material. We know the same material, but it looks like California was more open to diversity at the $1 million plus price point than we were in Texas. Texas is like, OK, we like you until we make some money. And then after we make some money, then we need to go ahead and find another agent. So you got to be careful. And like I say, I'm not talking about me personally. I'm just talking about what we have to do to change different areas and offer diversity in luxury, and also some more diversity in the and as far as the upper levels of different businesses. As you see, the NFL already jumped on that wagon. NFLs are giving teams a escalated additional draft pick if they hire a minority head coach. So if they hire a minority head coach, they get additional draft picks and they get to move up in the draft. So NFL is always ahead of the game. I just wish they would have been ahead of the game in taking care of Kaepernick. But Kaepernick's still taken care of by Nike. But it's very ironic that his kneeling was actually a prophetic gift to warn the police officers that we need to do something about this. And now, he's not out there saying, I told you so, but I know it would take everything in me not to do a video saying, I told you so at this point. So sometimes there's a lot of warnings of what we call writing on the wall that comes from the Bible. We need to adhere to the prophets and at the same time realize that if somebody is taking a knee, if somebody is looking to make a stand to stop police brutality, why would you disagree with something that's right? And so that's very important. I mean, at the same time, in real estate, no more redlining. Redlining is where you target certain neighborhoods. No more block busting. No more disqualifying people based on the 10003 application because they checked that they were black. Let the underwriter look at the application more stringently. All of that has to go. I mean, coming out of pandemic, first of all, showed you that red, white, or black, you can get sick. I don't think the pandemic discriminated when it came to who could get sick. So if we all have to social distance, we should all have to respect each other in the real estate field, in the housing market, and the in the housing market, and the law enforcement area, and all aspects of life. Let's treat each other as equals, and we can go and what they say, if you treat each other as equals, opportunity is limitless when you respect and honor once each other. So let's go ahead and go to our last break. Keep in mind, love where you live, love where you work. DDLRG, love's gonna get you. I am Don Davis of DDLRG Luxury International Real Estate, and when it's time to make a business decision about your residence, please keep in mind, it's a Don deal.
DDLRG is for all family groups, whether it's singles, married couples, or families. They specialize, however, in the higher-end upscale properties, but they can handle all borrowers.
We want to create raving fans.
When it's time to make a business decision about your residence, it's a Don deal. What's going on, Renee Pettis, Don Davis Luxury Realty Group, back from San Antonio, shot down to San Antonio, New Braunfels, Lander Park. Went out there to the river, Guadalupe River, went to the wineries, went to my old high school, San Antonio Highlands, then turned some corners and stopped by Dollar Bill's house. Yes, my boy Billy Langley holding it down for the family. Tell Miss Cookie I say hello. Hey, man, so we're going to finish up this show strong. Like I said, we came a long way. We came out in the NWA time frame, and we saw a lot going on with police brutality, Rodney King, and things like that. Just like the pandemic, we can get past the Spanish flu. Pandemic can get past the Spanish flu. This situation, Mr. Floyd, we can give all honor to Mr. Floyd, his family, and at the same time, even though it was an unfair situation, it definitely is going to change the world. Sometimes, as Jesus died on the cross, as Mr. Floyd was suffocated, it definitely has changed the world. So I am so firm about that. I know that this would change the world. I hate that it had to come to the protests and the riots, but that's what happens. You ignore somebody over and over. Eventually, they will be heard. So, but the peaceful protest was initially done. Same thing in real estate. No more redlining. No more unqualifying people in real estate. Tell me how I can get qualified. Don't unqualify me. And at the same time, want to give a shout out to one of my buddies, a big time developer who showed the city that tried to make him tap into their water network 7 miles away, who showed them, hey, I can create my own sewer system on my property. I'm not going to be bullied anymore. Like I say, people try to bully people in real estate. One of my buddies is a black real estate developer, and a city tried to bully him and tell him that he had to spend millions of dollars to tap into their water, when really all he had to do is spend about $1 million on his own property and use his own water. So you got to watch yourself out there. You got to work with somebody who's experienced. Another shout out to 2123 Development, knocking it down. Took me out to Mr. Tony G's, I believe it was called. Had some good oxtails off of Hackberry, and it was always good to go home. But like I say, back in Houston, back at it again. We're going to go ahead and take this real estate business to another level. Just signed on with Compass, where DDLRG is going to be focusing on diversity in luxury. That's diversity in luxury. Love where you live, love where you work. DDLRG, love's going to get you. Brokered by Compass.
Do business with the best in the industry. Do business with the Davis Realty.